Okay.
Hi, and welcome to the Unlimited Power series, where we've searched the globe to find some of the most amazing experts. These experts are masters in intuitive guidance, communication with angels and spirit guides, and connecting with the power from within. My vision is for you to be able to create an extraordinary life by reaching your absolute potential. I want you to be able to tap into your power that is within you. I'm honored and blessed to have interviewed some truly amazing people who are willing to share with us their stories and proven strategies to help us find the divine within. I'm extremely excited today to introduce to you ILONA SELKE. She is an international best-selling author, seminar leader, lecturer, musician, and CEO and co-founder of Living from Vision. Hi, Ilona, and welcome, and how are you today?
Hi, I'm so very glad, Monique, to see you. I am very touched that you take it upon your shoulders and all the work it takes to get all of our voices heard, and your vision of getting people in touch with their divine and their higher guidance, their intuition, and the angelic realm. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It is an honor that you're joining us today. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from? I
I
know you
can,
live
of
on
course, of course. I'll try and make it short.
two different
I was born,
islands.
yeah, I was born in the Himalayas, luckily enough, high up in the Himalayas, and my mom taught me yoga when I was 5 years old. My dad died there, so we had to go back to Germany, where my parents were from. And I grew up in Germany, so the cultural background and training I have is German. I graduated from with my whatever equivalent to second degree of university is, and then moved to America, fell in love with my meditation teacher, and studied comparative religions, and then studied meditation, developed studied Haikomi Gestalt therapy, body-centered psychotherapy, breath work, and then had the incredible fortune, after a deep prayer that I sent to the universe and said, please give me tools that really make a difference. And I met Dr. Vern Wolf, a genius still alive. He developed holodynamics, a technique that originally he used to help schizophrenics and drug addicts to get out of their misery. And when I learned that technique, I listened to him in the audience, and I was like, my hair stood on end. It's like, dip your cup in the sea of the unlimited potential. Dip it. It is your job to choose, and then you live it. And then in the process, you look at whatever is negative and ask it what it really wants, and you make the quantum jump through merging polarities into one. Simple, easy, psychological to do. I can teach it to children. I have books out, actually. And so my husband and I, who meanwhile had started dreaming big, said, let's live in a dome house and let's build it. And then we moved to an island, and we said, oh, I want to look over the ocean, and I want to have this, and I want to have that. And then the real estate lady said, well, we don't have anything in your price range. And then she thought, we actually do. And it's only because we dare to ask, we dare to dream, and then we built our house. And every month I said, dear God, I need another 20,000. And we make it, and we build it ourselves. And we still have our dome house and north of Seattle on an island. And now we, of course, since then dreamt other things. And I read about dolphins, and I said, oh, I have to find out what intelligence they truly have after I saw them jumping through hoops, especially orca whales, which are actually dolphins, through hoops in the San Diego Dolphinarium of SeaWorld. And I cried seeing them there. I was like, how can we do that to such an intelligent being? I felt like they were sending messages over top of my head. And so I said to Don, let's go find out. So we moved half the year always for 12 years and lived in Hawaii, right by a dolphin beach. We bought a dolphin boat, a dolphin observation boat. We took lots and lots of people for 25 years to swim with dolphins, including handicapped children. We watched firsthand the miracle of intention, thought, and dolphins manifesting to create healing and miracles in people's lives. And then I came across Dr. Rod Newton, and we learned and then practiced and now have the worldwide distribution for living from vision, which is a technique of teaching how to manifest goals. So we set out to dream even bigger. And we just said, okay, I want to have my own ashram. Things that would be impossible at the time of conception in terms of finances. But because we set the goals, the universe said, okay, and mobilized all the resources. So that's what we've been doing. We have a retreat center up north here in Bali, where I'm talking to you from right now.
That's so amazing. The experiences you've had and the journey that you are on, that I am sure is not done. I'm sure you have way more that you are looking forward to.
Still dreaming of. Yes. And one second, I just had a cough because I talked so much in a row. The universe is saying, stop it, girl. She just asked where you came from. But I just wanted to get an overview as to what is possible, because I started out as a massage therapist. My husband was a chimney sweep. So we didn't start out with a golden spoon in our mouth. Mm-hmm. And when you see our lives now, we have a house here in Ubud where I'm talking to you from. Our retreat center is up on the north shore of Bali, where we also live. We have our house there. Then we have our houses, we live in the Alps sometimes. We live on the island north of Seattle. And whatever it is we've dreamt, we want to be of use for humanity to help understand that our consciousness interacts with reality. So one of the things I like to share is just how I live. So people say, well, she walks her talk. And, I then have, focused on techniques of what to do when things aren't working. So we can talk about how to set your vision and get your goals, as well as what to do when things aren't working.
For sure. I like how you say you're walking your talk. You are, what you're dreaming and what you're envisioning is your reality. It is becoming your reality. Can you tell us how our audience can access their unlimited power and live their purposeful life?
Yes. The first thing to do is to realize that you have a bigger universe helping and supporting you.
For sure.
There is a universe that's listening. There are angels, there is the divine energy, there is the source energy that says yes. Now, of course, we have to make sure we say positive things. If I'm thinking, yes, I wanna, but I shouldn't, or nobody in my family ever had, or what will they say if then we have one part of us pulling this way and the other part pulling this way. Mm-hmm. So we do need to listen to even the smallest objections that our subconscious puts up. But if we align ourselves, and I share with you a couple steps, I have created a children's book about those steps. It's called Alan Learns to Use His Imagination. So it's ALIN. If you Google my name on Amazon, you'll see all my books. Ilona Selke with an I-L-O-N-A. Ilona S-E-L-K-E. You'll see all my books, but then the children's books walk you through step by step of how to transform the part that says no, or I doubt, or I'm afraid, or whatnot. So it's not difficult to manifest. You just have to make your choice, say I want, and really be desiring it. We have a course called Living from Vision, which walks people step by step through finding their vision, through energizing them, through aligning with your higher self, finding your purpose, all these steps, and how to deal with problems. But if I just gave you 4 steps right now, I'd say, okay, declare what you want and say it out loud or write it down, one way or the other. Either, be sure you somehow make it a declaration and make sure it's positively worded. You say, okay, universe, I want. And if it's a castle you want, that's fine. I wanted to live in front of a castle, so that's what I got as well in one of my wishes. It's a vacation rental that we have in Germany. So that's viewing my favorite castle in Germany, the King Ludwig one.
That's beautiful.
You know, and in retrospect, sometimes I think, how can these things manifest? So I've had students who've manifested the impossible. Like one person was a naturopath and he wanted to build his orphanage in India and said, I need $700,000. For 3 weeks, he set out to manifest and visualize and energize his goal. So what he did, and I'll walk you through those steps. He said what he wanted. He imagined what it would look like if it were done, a completed, future fulfilled image. Don't get stuck in the how do I get there.
Mm-hmm.
No, you are in the future and you visualize how it'll be once you're there. Because see, we live in this holographic quantum soup. You're here now and you want to be there. Well, the way we get there is by imagining, occupying that time space already, and then feeling what it would feel like if you were there already. You don't occupy your mind with the way to get there. See, a lot of people think it'll take money to get there. Well, it might, but how it gets to you is none of your concern. The universe will take care of that. We will get to that in a minute. So he visualized having his 700,000 and visualized the feeling and reveled in the feeling, which was one of joy, of giving, of sharing. And I don't remember his metaphorical image, but I remember another guy, he wanted a car. These are like they taught the first class, so I like doing it with people who just out of the box have never done it before. He was a filmmaker, had never thought about manifesting, and said, okay, I'm going to learn this. Said he wanted this car, and a $30,000 car which didn't have the money, and he visualized driving it. And the feeling was of freedom, and it was an open car, and he had his hair blowing. He had white hair. He was already in his 60s. And the image he visualized was a dove, you know, a bird, a dove flying. And the freedom of flying was the feeling he would have in his heart. So it's the feeling and then the metaphorical image that we practice. Now, this guy visualized his contentment and feeling having the money, and then he got the brilliant idea one morning just to go to this soap making company in Cologne and ask and to hear him out. He went in, they heard him out, and I said, how much do you want? And they wrote him a check for 500,000.
Wow.
One person, one check. He was like, it's 3 weeks into this course and it's already 3/4 manifest, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how things happen. You occupy the time space, quantum dimension of the future you want. Now, I was so lucky as to be able to contribute to a book with Brian Tracy, the person who wrote Chicken Soup of the Soul. So if you sign up, I'm going to give people who listen here an app for free that walks them through some of these steps I just talked about, envisioning a perfect day, envisioning something that really touches their soul, and how to energize that. So it's important that we take this mini vacation every single day as best as you can. So if people on this page, wherever I'm at, probably right now, somewhere there is a link for a free gift, correct?
There will, on their, the page that they got to get to this video, it will be the link. It's in their email to get
Awesome.
that free gift.
Awesome.
Sure. That's an awesome gift.
Yeah, because I have found the thing that we tend to do is listen to something like this and say, I got it. Oh, that's easy. I can remember that. And then the morning comes and we get up and it's the kids, the coffee and whatnot. And I recommend not drinking coffee, but it's easier if your system can be calmed down. And if you are in the driver's seat, you focus on what you want. Yeah. And that unlimited power is actually the universe flowing through you, saying yes to whatever you're holding in your heart. And so say, universe, you're listening, I know, so this is what I really want. Hold it in your heart, feel it, and then offer it as a gift to yourself and the world around you. And make yourself a contribution. Make your dreams something that embellishes your life, expresses your talents, and then go for your dreams. You know, it may take however long. I had a woman who was stuck in a 9-to-5 job and, you know, said, I want to be like Ilona. And in 2 years' time, that's how she lives now.
So what do you tell your clients when, okay, you give them the steps and they're very, they're simple steps. You want to declare what you want,
describe it,
being there,
envision the future as it's fulfilled.
Yes, but
yeah, not like having say, I want to drink water. It's like I'm drinking the water, feeling the feeling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the metaphor that represents your feeling. It's just a simple way to get your left brain out of the way and to focus on the fulfilled feeling. The fire burning in a fireplace, or a cozy feeling of having luxury of time, or a romantic relationship, a sunset, whatever comes to your mind. And
So what
then
happens when, oh, sorry.
letting go and letting the universe do it. Sorry, don't make.
We're getting a little bit of a bad connection. Let's hope it clears up a bit. But because we're all human and we've lived, judgment is a big part of most people's lives. We're very judgmental of ourselves and worried about other people's judgment. So those thoughts do come in, and I know you said there is the thought there, the thoughts are there, and you have to balance it, get the two together. How do you get your clients to balance the negative with the being positive? Because you need to be positive to get the results.
Right. So there are several steps I can explain to you now. I love the sentence out of the book, The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. And if you can just stop in a moment where you feel that self-doubt or are critical of others. I'll tell you a little story of how it happened to me. I was 19 and I decided I want to make money to go to university in America, which takes money. Mm-hmm. And I applied with Lufthansa in Germany and got the job as a stewardess at 19. So I was flying internationally, making money, but the first flight that I took me to London. And I was put up in a posh 5-star hotel. Now, my real vision of what I had really wanted when I was 16 was to be in Cambridge and a poor student, and I had it all worked out. I'd live under this roof and schlep the charcoal, the coal for the wood for the stove to the old lady so that she would let me live under the roof. That was my ideal. I would speak English. I would have an English-speaking husband. But here now, I don't know, I'd chosen something different, and it came into my life with so much ease. I was sitting in a posh, glitzy hotel, and I sat on my bed, and I cried, and I looked around, and I said, God, how did I deserve this? I mean, really. The glitz and the posh was not really in my heart of hearts. Mm-hmm. And I'm like I'm complaining to God, it's like, ugh. And then I've gotten accustomed in my life to take a book and open it and say, what's the message? A good book, I had this Lazy Man Guide to Enlightenment book, thin, tiny book, and I open it, and it said, this too you can learn to love. Mm-hmm. So I looked around and I said, so this too I can learn to love. All right. I swallowed. It was all teak furniture, highly polished, glitzy things. And now I look around and I tell you, if you looked around right now, I mean, I just wish I could show you. It's phenomenal. I live in a Javanese juggalo with these hand-carved peaks where you look inside and it's like all recycled jati wood, teak wood. It's like my dream turned around into okay, now it's still teak. It's just the way I like it. A little rustic, beautiful, carved. And this too you shall learn to love about yourself and or the world around you or others that we criticize. Now, there's another simple technique I learned, which is very useful in a relationship. It was written in the book, The Urban Shaman, by, I used to stand side by side with him on lectures in the Prophets Conference. The one who teaches shamanism, and he lives in Kauai. Anyways, it goes like this. If you say one thing that's negative, follow it up with 10 things that are positive. You catch yourself, you stop. You say, what do I really want? I want to be positive. And then you take yourself back and you say, wait a moment, what is good about this? And you think, I am, or I learned to love this critical part of myself, or I learned to love the part that's shy, that's this, that's not good, that's aggressive, whatever. I learned to love it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll say what I really like about myself is A, B, C, D, E, 10 things, maybe even just 5. Now, if you have something that's an emotion, let's say an angry emotion that comes out, what you can do is, I describe it in my books, Wisdom of the Dolphins. And when you sign up actually to this free app, you will get the free ebook, Wisdom of the Dolphins. And in it, I describe the technique of how to deal with negative emotions. You take it and you start communicating with it as though it's a thing. So you first center yourself on the feeling in the body wherever you are at, and you listen to that part of yourself and feel it in your body. Your body doesn't lie. It tells the truth. So you go, okay, is it more here or there? Or if it had a color, what color would it have? And then you communicate with it. And you say, so what have you been doing? Big mess, yeah? And then you say, what you really want. And that's the one that I described in the book by Jack Canfield, The Big Secret, for example, a very miraculous story. I was late flying. We were flying to take groups to swim with dolphins in Florida, Key West. Well, we had to land in Washington, D.C., and the airplane was diverted to Maryland. And I tell you in the book, and I believe that chapter will also be part of the automatic autoresponder series when you sign up for this app. So it'll be one of those stories. You can get it when I describe the technique of how I turned this anger and this frustration of landing in the wrong place into its fulfillment, which is arriving on time in the place. What it really wanted was to be there on time, in the right space. Well, when you communicate with whatever is negative, you can find out that if you talk to it, it'll tell you exactly what it actually really wants. It gets angry or gets negative or fearful or doubtful only because that's the early childhood developmental response we've practiced. We usually aren't taught to jump into the fulfilled feeling of whatever this negative feeling wants. It just comes up. The limbic brain reacts. But what we really want is a fulfillment. So if you can step back and look at the feeling and say, what do you really want? And then choose the outcome of what you really want and merge the negative with the positive in your mind. Now, it's a little much to do in half an hour here, but just to give you this concept, that's the miracle technique that creates quantum jumps in all the people's lives I've ever taught this to. I have taught thousands and thousands and thousands of people from China to Africa to South America to North America to Europe. And this technique works. First of all, you feel better right away. It's amazing.
It's miraculous.
It's miraculous. It is understanding that two things cannot exist simultaneously in this universe. So when you bridge two into one, the negative and the positive, this one has a higher capacity than this, right? This understands this. That's why, so it absorbs it. That's why it can be absorbed into the positive. So then it says, oh, okay, this is what I want. And it starts radiating, resonating the positive outcome into the universe. That's the short, quick answer to your question, what to do with negative things. Love it. Tell yourself good things or about other people, what is likable. Then find that core feeling in your body where you feel the feeling. Take it and give it color, shape, and form, communicate with it, and find out what it really wants. There are so many more steps, like going into your higher self, developing your intuition, and I have courses for that, the Living from Vision course. Actually, even just the beginning part is available on my online school for just $49. So I will probably, send people links out to that. It's ilonaselke.online. And that's easy to find, ilonaselke.online. And there we have a number of really low price entry courses, and one of them is the Living from Vision first week, where you learn how to manifest and how to envision your positive future.
That's it's amazing what the tips that you are given, because I think a lot of people, they try to positive affirmations, they try all that, but when the negative comes in and they collide, they don't get what they envision or asked for, and then they give up. But if they can learn the techniques of merging the two and acknowledging and accepting it, miraculous things could happen. That's awesome. Tell us.
Yes. Time and space will bend. Yes. Now, I will tell you, the biggest secret I have to share about that is the purity of your focus, which comes from aligning your soul with God. If you go to the source and align yourself with the highest force within you and then the universe, the more you practice that and then funnel it through the lens of your wish or thoughts, the faster things manifest. So if you put your foot on the path of learning how to touch in with the inner dimensions, your intuition, your inner guidance, and the universal force, and then learn to positively direct your thoughts, you'll be unstoppable. We already do it. Probably everybody who's listening to this is manifesting here and there their parking spot of their choice. They say, universe, I need a parking spot right in front of, and they get it. And the universe is always listening, whether our thoughts are flickering, light, negative, or positive. But the more you line up with your soul focus and develop that focus and the connection to God or the source, or however you want to call it, the faster and bigger your manifestations will be.
And it's a continuous journey.
Yes.
For everyone. It's a continuous learning journey. What is the purpose for someone to dream big?
Well, it is a really good question. It's not to accumulate or to aggrandize our ego. We know that doesn't bring satisfaction. People, have gotten millions in all the boats they want and then still do whatever, substances to get relaxed. The thing is, in life, we come with a sense of what we're here for. There are two things. We all have talents. And if you want to find out your talents, there's a great book called The Life You Were Born to Live by Dan Millman. The one that wrote The Peaceful Warrior. The Life You Were Born to Live. Now, if you read about your numerological number, which is comprised out of your birth date, 1 second. It describes your purpose in life, what you're here to get. And learning to open your mind to the universe, to dream big, is to step out of this poor me, I can't do it, victim behavior. To understanding that we are co-creative with the universe and that the universe is working through us. With us. We are the hands and eyes of God. We're looking at each other and reflect God into each other back and forth. We are the hands that create. We are here with our eyes to perceive the beauty, the incredible beauty of creation, and to give thanks. So we are part and parcel of creation. But if we tell ourselves that we're nothing, that we're bad, that everybody else is bad, we're misusing the great gift of consciousness that we've been given. And we are here to evolve. Our soul, like you said, it's an endless journey, is spiraling into greater abilities of opening to the source and eventually feeling that incredible love be part of our beingness and share it with others so that we become a positive cooperative force within the cycle of creation.
That's beautiful. It's
thank you.
For people to see that there is that connection and there is a way to get that connection and the dreaming big
and how to do it
and exactly how to do it. And it's not only dreaming for that big house or that car, it's dreaming big for
your soul,
your happiness within you. Exactly. Right. Your soul. It is beautiful. And
did we mention that I did write recently the book Dream Big, the Universe is Listening?
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't. Okay, so the purpose of that book is to stimulate people to dare to dream beyond the confines of what they think their normal life should look like. We've been taught to function. Our parents are intent on getting us on the road to self-sufficiency as soon as we can. So functioning within the system at first is important, but then we are here to discover our soul and the universe and the magical power of the universe, which means if I ask you to dream big, part of you will open up your passionate floodgates and says, well, if you're asking me seriously, what if I could? I would be the man on the moon. I would be the, singer on stage. I would help 1 million people, and it's this dream that brings your talents to the forefront and makes you a positive force in the universe. You can start as small as you want. It doesn't matter. I have had people manifest. Just one woman said, I want to hear the Phantom of the Opera. First session, sits down in a class, visualizes being there, listening to the music. It's wonderful. She comes home, and on the kitchen table is a CD that her daughter happens to just thought she should buy, Phantom of the Opera. So she had just barely even thought of it, and it was already at home there for her that night to listen to. So once we get the hang of it, we realize that this universe is interactive and the universe is listening. And that is the best news we could ever get. That is someone on our sides. There are beings that will help us create the beauty that we envision.
Well, can you give, I know you've given quite a bit of tips
Sure.
and techniques, but can you give us a few more that can get us towards our big dreams?
Towards our purpose in life, for example?
Our
big
dreaming big.
Okay. Well, I would take a course called Living from Vision. But you can get started on it on your home couch. You can just take a piece of paper and brainstorm and write down 10 things that, I just did this. Okay, write 10 things down that if money wasn't an objection, if your skills weren't an objection, if your status or what you think you're capable of isn't an objection, you could dream whatever you wanted to that would make you happy. What would those 10 things be? Just no holds, no bar holds. The other one is that I just did, I love to do in seminars, but you can do it with a friend. Get a friend, sit down, close your eyes, and pretend that you're entering your future of 5 years from now. And somehow magically you had gotten this magic wand into your life, and you and I, let's say, sit together and we say it's 5 years in the future. We meet somewhere at an airport and we say, oh my God, do you know what happened in the last 5 years? I did this, I have this, I am this, this relationship, and those are my kids and me and my world, or whatever. And describe to each other what your world would look like in 5 years if everything unfolded beyond your imagination. I mean, you can go all out. I did that in my first seminar with Dr. Vern Wolf. And of course, we had done exercises to tap into our ideal self and things like that. And we'd worked on techniques of how to transform our negative emotions. But just sitting there and daring to dream what would be in 5 years. Because 5 years, a lot can happen, you know?
Yeah.
I was traveling the world, international best-selling author, teaching internationally in all these different places, had a house. I mean, Don and I were like doing this together, my husband and I. And in 2.5 years, all these things had manifested in my life.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my God, if we could just dare to dream and tell the universe what we really want, we already opened the door to the unlimited potential.
Can you imagine, because we do this with kids, we say to kids, and their imagination, like my daughter, she wants to be a teacher and this and that, but instead of it happening, everything they want to do, society kind of tampers that down. But you're asking, or you're giving a tip or telling people to do what we ask kids. What do you want?
Dream big, and the universe is listening. Then, of course,
bigger than kids.
Yeah.
And
well, and you know what? In the process, you will discover and you will get things that really matter to you. Because, I mean, I have this children book and app with guided meditations that adults do. You can get the book, Alan Learns to Use His Imagination, online, and you can also get the app in the Apple or Android store by the same name, where I will probably send that link somewhere in my
I'm gonna get that book for my daughter.
Yeah, and in it tells, it has a fairy tale, so it walks kids through how to manifest a wish, how to handle a negative problem step by step. It's right in the book, and it's based on the work by Dr. Vernon Wolf, and this has been proven. PhD theses have been written on this. This has been tested with dropout kids in America, in Singapore, kids who were like on drugs and were not functioning. They've used this technique and came back around and become dreaming kids that are manifesting their potential. There was this woman, she did the Living from Vision course with one of my teachers in Australia, and she brought her son that she hadn't been talking to. She said, please do me a favor, come to this course. 15-year-old rebellious teenage kids. He said, okay, I'll sit with you at least through one class. So after that evening of the 4 hours or so, they drove home. And it was the first time the kid talked with his mother at length. They didn't even get out of the car till 1 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
And in the course, the kid stayed in the course. And in the 4th week, they talk about the purpose in life. And he decides that his purpose is to help cancer kids by playing music, becoming a pianist, shaved his head, started picking up, developing his jazz skills, started playing out, did benefit concerts, and collected money for cancer kids that were sick with cancer. So he developed a sense of identity, purpose, skill development based all around this vision that he got in the Living from Vision course. The teacher was obviously very touched.
Transformation.
It's incredible.
Transformation.
Yeah.
Well, you so much information. I can't even describe.
Thank you.
What it makes me feel getting all this information, and I'm sure our audience is just soaking it all up as well. I want to thank you for that, and for the amount you've shared is amazing. My last question to you is, how can I serve you?
Well, you already are, and you are putting this out to the world and giving people tools and interviews. It takes a lot of work being on your side and putting this all together. It's unimaginable. I did it for a conference, Dream Big Summit, 3 months, and so much work and so many details that flow into producing this. So I want to thank you for doing this, getting the word out, helping the world, getting in touch with their higher potential, the angelic realm, and the divine. I think it is the one thing we need to do in this world, do more of. We have AI, artificial intelligence, and robots marching in, and unfortunately it's still so, people don't know it, but it's a world. I'm trying to say, okay, I see it coming, and I do love my smartphone, and I do love my washing machine. So there are things I really love that we can talk from Bali to America right now on a little home computer. Yes. That would have been impossible 30, 40 years ago. However, we need to pay attention to what is really important, our soul and heart, and make the connection, because there is a greater all-watching eye, not artificially intelligence, but a bigger consciousness that is cooperating with us and wanting us to wake up. And thank you for being a vehicle for that and letting me and others speak on your show.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want everyone to check out Ilona's free gift. The link is on the email that was sent to you. And for so much more transformational strategies, courses, tips, all that, go to Ilona's website. It's www.ilonaselke.com. That's ILONASELKE.com. Thank you once again, Ilona. Thank everyone for joining us. It's been truly amazing. And until next time, many blessings to everyone. I'm Monique Farrell. I'm your host.
Monique, thank you so much.
Thank you.